I move that the question be now put.
I'll hear Chris Hockenwald.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And it's a pleasure and a privilege to stand and speak, and I hope some of the things that I say about the commencement date of this Act will go some way to console the author of this bill, a known sensitive person, extremely proud of having his own bill in the House, to be shattered by the callous comments from the other side that he was being repetitious and boring. Oh, how dreadful. Then the Speaker adding to it. I mean, and from a lady that we've always considered to be quite polite. Always considered quite polite, but no. But if we look at this bill, we've heard about, we didn't wish to have conjecture over when it took effect, because it's quite significant, Mr. Speaker. We've heard from my colleague on my right, Mike Sabin, with his police background, talking about people stockpiling these sorts of things. This is what happens. And we keep saying, on a serious note, because this is a very serious business. Now, I can't remember last week, but let me rephrase that. Let me rephrase that. I can't remember which part of last week I heard the news item that a farmer had to endure a large number of sheep being shot on his property. North Otago.
Was that around the ferry?
And how many sheep were shot on the first night? About 110. And then he moved his flock of sheep. Well, he moved his flock of sheep into a safer paddock. The next night, they shot another 80. The point about this is, it is vital that we have this bill commence, and it commence fairly quickly, because there are very odd people around. None of the sheep were eaten. None of them were taken away. They were just shot. Some people are nuts. If you give weaponry of any sort to people, they're going to use it. Remember, this bill doesn't stop people owning these things. It stops them having possession in a public place without reasonable purpose. All right? For those who think that, you can't use lasers for that sort of thing, I think there was an advertisement, it might have been in the Sunday Star Times last weekend, where a company was advertising helicopter drones which fired pepper spray and used blinding lasers to blind demonstrators at meetings. These things, yes, surely not. But I mean, we say let's do it seriously. This is a very serious thing. The 28 days, though, will achieve the purpose, and it was carefully discussed by the committee. The immediate commencement could easily cause confusion. You've got these things, you are allowed to have them. You can own them, but you cannot have possession of them in a public place without due reason. That's the whole purpose of it. So by giving 28 days, it's enough for the education to hit the papers, to move around, and for people who own these things to become familiar with what they should and shouldn't be doing with them, where they can take them and where they can't take them. Another point, Mr. Saber?
That's the crux of the commencement.
It is the crux of the commencement date. This is a behaviour-changing bill. And that's why it need education for it. And you know, I hear chuckles from the other side. Chuckles from the other side of the House. I have seen an All Black ready to take a goal kick who was lasered to put him off.
Yeah, that's true.
And this happens. And it happens at fancy. It happens in sport. It's the last place. And I remember when we introduced this bill, with all due respect to the serious-minded members on the other side, there was a certain, come on, it's only toys to play, for cats to play with, and that sort of thing. It ain't. These can be extremely dangerous articles. Extremely. Back to the furry edges again. And so this will achieve the purpose. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chair.
Simon O'Connor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Look, really, yeah, I'm very pleased it is a good choice. I'm biased, though, of course. Hey, look, very pleased to talk to this second clause, the commencement. It's a little bit similar